So, I, as one of the projects, were in charge of coordinating the activity of piloting the first product. That was the procedure that was produced by the Vintage project. The objective of the activity was to test the procedure in order to make the necessary modification, adjustments, and to make it more usable by the end users, that would be adult learners. And before, it was an essential operation before producing and provide contents to the online tool that Kenneth was presenting just a few minutes ago. The piloting phase started in December 2013 and finished in the month of February. And it consisted of, we used two methodological approaches, focus group sessions and a web survey. The participants were in particular teachers, trainers, researchers, and decision makers, all dealing in the field of adult education, and they were provided with all the material that we produced so far. That's to say, all the theoretical basis of the procedure, the structure of the procedure, and some examples of how we articulated the various key competences. First of all, the participants were asked to provide their opinions concerning the general overview, the general plan of the project, the theory which was at the base of the products that we send them, and also to provide more detailed information about all the single aspects of this procedure. When I collected all the local reports from the various countries participating in the project, we found out that the opinions were very similar. Although people never met and didn't know each other. So this was sort of encouraging, because we thought, okay, so probably the information that we can extract from all and collect together and put together from the various local reports make us think that probably they are valid, unbiased, and reflecting a common vision, a common opinion and feeling towards the procedure that we produced. So there were very positive remarks for what concerns the concept of competence that was adopted by the project, and which allow us to develop the self-evaluation procedure, but also positive remarks for what concerns the procedure itself. In particular, the participants highlighted four main aspects. The first thing is they underline the importance of self-evaluation among adult learners. Many of them consider that the fact of reflecting on oneself, of self-evaluation as the initial part of learning, and to be in itself part of a learning activity, because one starts to understand what are his or her own needs and can choose to proceed and go further in their learning. A second remark, observation was that it is important to provide learners with a guided process of reflection in which the learner, or not only the learner but the adult person, is at the center of the stage, in which he is going to reflect upon himself, his qualities, his weakness and strong points. Then one thing that was very much appreciated was the fact of considering competencies under the aspect of contents and behaviors, so that the part concerning the performance and not the classical aspect of skills and knowledges. And then, obviously, all acknowledge that to produce a procedure like this is a very complex work, and which obviously requires also an investment in terms of time and also concentration on the part of the user, of the final user. So here I make a brief highlight of the aspects which were considered most positive. In particular, the possibility of choosing the mastery level at the beginning of the procedure, as you have seen, with this sort of apparently complex mechanism, but it's essential in order to find for each user to find the best match concerning the level he or she wants to make his self-evaluation. Then it was very much appreciated the fact of dividing key competencies into various aspects, domains or clusters, as you've seen. And also, they considered very positive the fact of providing the final user with situation taken or stimulating a connection with their everyday life or their real life. But on the other side, there were also many critical points, obviously. The length of text, because obviously we have to say that we tested the procedure with trainers, and we provided them actually with a huge amount of paper or files, but anyway, containing many pages of text explaining the procedure, explaining how we arrived to the production of this procedure. And actually the end user will not have to read all the documents. The language which is used is too technical, and this can be a limitation towards the possible target groups of end user. The fact that it's quite time consuming, and this can bring to a lack of motivation on the part of the person who is undergoing this self-evaluation. The fact that initially in the structure, in presenting the various situation divided per mastery level, there were some gaps. So there was not an exact matching between mastery level, cluster, and the situation presented. And then many highlighted the difficulty of describing in detail a performed behavior, especially if it's something done in the past, just based on one's memory. And finally, the famous quality, the 10 quality dimensions, which are the basis for the final and real self-evaluation. So, because some of them were of difficult understanding, and especially for the lowest mastery level, some consider this quality not always applicable. And then for what concerns the possible use in adult education, in the various fields of adult education, most of the participants expressed very positive, gave us a very positive feedback, saying that all the mechanism, all the machine, all the procedure is very interesting and could have a noteworthy impact on adult education. But here are some questions for all of you. Like, in which setting would this tool be applicable? What are the required conditions for a person to undergo this evaluation procedure? And what are, in your opinion, the critical issues that can emerge from this actually quick overview that you had of this tool? And do you think, from your experience, that adult learners engaged in adult education activities, and particularly non-vocational adult educational activities, are familiar with the concept of self-evaluation? And then what could be the impact of this procedure, of this tool, on adult learners, but also on their educators? Bedankt voor uw aandacht.